Hi, I'm Jordan with Jordan Plays Blue, and this is a Kickstarter preview for the little card game Broken and Beautiful. This is a game about the art style of kintsugi. If you're not familiar with that, is again a Japanese art style in which you take broken pottery and you reassemble it and put it back together using melted gold. And so it adds these gold lines through it, and what was once broken now becomes beautiful again. This is actually the second game I have with this theme. There's a button shy game called Kintsugi, where you're playing cards and trying to cover each other and or make layouts of these cards to combine. There's also a Death Cab for Cutie album, if you're into that kind of sad music, called Kintsugi. It might be their worst album, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, Kintsugi, it's a really interesting theme. I really enjoy art-themed games, and this one especially is cool because it actually is beautiful. I played a couple art-themed games recently that weren't as beautiful as you would think an art-themed game should be, and this one definitely lives up to that. So I want to talk a little bit about this game. It's currently on Kickstarter at the time of me recording this, and might be in retail if you're watching this late. I don't want to go into all of the rules. There's a couple of videos on Board Game Geek already, or on the Kickstarter page, that do a really good job with that. I don't need to explain the game in that much detail. So let's talk about kind of how the game works a little bit and how it makes me feel, I guess, when I'm playing it. So in this game, this is a drafting game in which you're going to be drafting cards from the table into kind of a tableau in front of you, and you're going to have these cards that are different pottery types. You got cups, you got bowls and saucers and trays and teapots and things like that. And you're going to be drafting these, and they come in different color patterns of pottery, and you're going to be taking these over, and whatever cards are left face up on the table from where you're drafting, those types of pots are going to then break. And you twist the cards a little bit and show that they're broken, and you have to spend these little gold pieces that you're also collecting during those phases to turn them over, and then those cards are going to score differently. So if the cards are broken, they don't score. If they are originally, unbroken, they will score. But if they are fixed with this gold, they're going to score even more. And as you're collecting these types of cards, they're going to score in different ways. Just kind of a basic set collection kind of thing. That's just kind of how it works. And this one feels, it's a filler game, but it has I don't want to say it takes itself more seriously than other kind of filler drafting games. I've often, as I've been playing this, thinking of games kind of like Sushi Go, where you are, drafting cards, and depending on the types of cards you're going to score, each one's going to score a little differently. And that same thing is in here, where teapots score differently than saucers, which score differently than teacups, and that kind of thing. And so, but this one has a different kind of air and feel about it, because it is that art style focused game. It is focused on kind of how the game looks, and it feels a little different like that, where you're actually trading these hefty gold pieces in to flip the cards over, and they look more elegant and more refined at that way. It's different than Sushi Go, where literally the sushi have little faces, or Draftosaurus, where there's these silly little dinosaurs that you're drafting and putting different places. It's a different type of drafting game. It has a bit more it feels a bit more serious in how it plays, which I think is fine. I think it's going to appeal to a different crowd than maybe those other types of games. This one is those other games I think might be more appealing to families and younger folks. This one might be more appealing to people that are only playing with adults, that might have interest in art, in graphic design, those types of things. This one's definitely going to fit into that. Again, I think the artwork is really good. I have a prototype copy, so I can't speak too much to the components of it, but I can speak to the artwork, and if you look through the Kickstarter page, the artwork is fantastic in this game. Again, I've recently played some art-themed games that weren't as artistically adept as this one. This one is fantastic in how it looks. I have no question that the prototype I have has good quality cards, and these gold pieces that I believe come in the deluxe edition instead of the wooden cubes, they're heavy, and they just feel really satisfying whenever it has a nice tactile feel. They feel really satisfying. Collecting them, it feels like you're collecting something of worth, and then you're spending it, and it feels like it's, you're spending something that actually had a cost to it. So I think that is really great. I think it's going to be a really wonderful package when it's all come together. Of course, my prototype is, it's a little black box with some cards and stuff in it, but I think even the pieces that I have seen and played with, I think is really great. So I have no issues or concerns about how the game is going to be produced. I think it's going to be really wonderful. So when it comes to Kickstarter previews, I don't often give kind of my thoughts of the game. I think this one, but I'll share a little bit here. I think this one is a really solid card drafting game. I think it is. It's going to be kind of at that level with other card drafting games, but it's going to probably appeal to a different audience than some other ones. Like I had mentioned, Sushi Go or Draftosaurus or other. What this game almost feels like? It's going to appeal to a crowd similar to like the pencil first games like Herbaceous or Floriferous or those types of games that have kind of that more whimsical but very well done art, that very well done art style. It's not a playful type of game. It is very kind of straight-laced, but very beautiful and has that kind of feel amongst it. So I think if you're into those types of filler games where, they're really visually appealing, but also kind of mentally engaging, I think this one's going to work. It's definitely going to be different, even though it might feel mechanically similar to a game like Sushi Go. And I keep mentioning Sushi Go because that's a popular game that this one reminds me of. But this one is going to probably appeal to a different type of audience than Sushi Go might. But I think this one is still, it's right in there. I don't think it's breaking any ground. It has a couple twists where, the cards you draft might break, and then you can upgrade them with the gold to get you more points, and you actually want to be able to do that. Throughout the game, you don't want your cards just to be broken and never do anything with it. So it has some nice twists and turns that way, but I think it is, it's a good drafting game that is going to kind of be along that line with those other peers of small filler type drafting games. I don't know if this one pulls itself from the pack from those so much, but I think what really sets it apart is the look and kind of the feel of the game feels different than those. And so if that is something that is attractive to you, I would definitely check this one out. I've really enjoyed it, and it's one that I'm looking forward to seeing what the final copy looks like, because I would love to play that too. So Broken and Beautiful is definitely one that I'm going to be wanting to play more in the future, and it's one that I've enjoyed and one that I would enjoy showing other people and have enjoyed showing other people, and I want to keep doing that. So that's Broken and Beautiful from Left Justified Studios on Kickstarter now, or hopefully available to you if you're watching this after the Kickstarter. But again, I'm Jordan with Jordan Plays Blue. I hope this was helpful to you. Have a good one. Thanks.